So there was one other thing that we wanted to talk about. Shane Keegan was in on papers on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly, and he was on with David Sneyd of the Irish Daily Mail and Sunday Mail, of course, and he had a piece yesterday with a few players who've been back home from England and playing in the League of Ireland. We can actually just play the clip now just to get Shane Keegan's take on the situation.
An interesting question for you then, Shane, is with these players coming back from 2, 3, 4 years in England, and clearly were very good players going over there to begin with, do they come back fitter, stronger, with better technique than the batch who stay?
Definitely not fitter, stronger. We were chatting about that outside. Definitely not fitter, stronger, which is remarkable for a multi-million-pound industry. How things are just left so loose and on the fly. You talk to, I don't know, maybe these 4 boys, but certainly in the cases of players that I've spoken to, the gym culture is a kind of, here are some exercises that we'd like you to do, and off you go and do it in your own time. Even the amount of collective strength and core strength and exercises that we're doing were little to none. Like a minor, an inter-county minor Gaelic football team would be doing far more strength and conditioning work than a Premier League academy team would be in that age group.
It's hard to fathom, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one of the first things you do. One of the first things you do when you get one of these fellas is you need to try and build them up a little bit. Definitely strength-wise, it's hard to understand how that can be the case.
Do we think there's maybe some logic over in the UK whereby, well, let's focus on the technique and that stuff will come later, or do you actually just think it's borderline negligent?
Yeah, it would certainly strike me as borderline negligent, so it would. I don't understand. I don't know what the justification is.
We're not giving it some logic, is what we're saying.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear the views of people in the system, although they probably just deny it. I don't know. They come in. I think everybody likes being on the grass. You know, they like looking after all that, and it's, do they really want to kind of be shoving these possibly already wealthy footballers into a gym when they don't really want to be in the gym? And I don't know, it really does, it amazes me, so it does.
Kenny, what do you think of
that? Well, I take Shane's point. He's always had personal experience of players coming back and seeing this up close, but I'd be absolutely amazed. I couldn't see a situation at an academy system or under 23s if these players, whatever age that they are, going over and coming back, where they would be left to their own devices in terms of their strength and condition. That is huge. That is hugely structured at a football club, whether it's the 16s, 17s, 18s and 23s, in terms of that physical condition. And that's absolutely huge at all professional football clubs. So I'd be absolutely amazed. And I think maybe Shane didn't allude to it there, I think there's a bit of individual responsibility here as well. So at clubs there will be some collective work done as the group in terms of in the gym, but you'll all have your own individual programs. So you'll have it. Now, you won't be taken by your hand into the gym by one of the people in one of the physical and conditioning coaches and actually led through all of your program. You'll be given it, it'll be tailored to you, and you'll be saying, this is it, here's your program for the next 6 weeks, 2, 3, 4 times a week. Go and do it and get on with it. And it's your responsibility to go and do that. If you don't do that and your attitude isn't right and you're cutting corners, well, you might find yourself in a situation where you're actually being shown the door at the football club, going back to the situation, meeting the likes of Shane, and managers looking at you thinking, well, physically you're not where you should be. So it might sound a little bit harsh, but there's a lot of individual responsibility on behalf of the players. Take responsibility yourself, get yourself into the gym, do the program, get yourself as physically fit as possible.
So that's the logic. If you can't be trusted to do this stuff on your own, you're not going to make it as a footballer, and actually it's self-selecting the weakest of the group.
Yeah, well, I think that might sound a bit harsh, but I think, yeah, in some cases that will be a factor. Yeah, some lads won't do the work, won't commit themselves as much as they should, invest themselves as much. Yes, want to go on to the, Shane's alluded to it, want to be on the pitch kicking the balls, yeah, but what actually don't want to do the work themselves. I mean, you've got, you know, you can't be led, you can't be all of these things. And I'd be amazed the amount of money
Are there not some 15, 16, 17-year-olds though who do need, like, this is the structure and they do need a handheld to get to the gym and just to be managed a bit more? Like that culture.
You will get that initially. A lad from Dublin or whatever part of Ireland comes over to it in the professional environment. You will get that initially. It hasn't been used to all the gym work. Not exactly sure. Yeah, there will be initially a little bit of that. You'll be brought in. This is what you need to do. Be careful. This, do that. You'll do your work collectively. There's a certain amount of stuff you can do collectively, which I think is a good thing in terms of team bond and harmony, having everybody kind of working it. That's a good thing. But ultimately, we're all different physically, so everybody should have their own individual programs. I'm talking 16, 17, 18-year-olds here. That will be the case. You have to slightly deviate and concentrate on different things, but you'll have to do that yourself, and very quickly. I mean, this is a professional game. Like, You know, you've got to pick up the mantle and go yourself and commit yourself and do as best you can and make yourself the best athlete that you can, regardless of the type of work that you're doing now on the pitch. So I think I understand what he's saying, but to a certain extent, I think you might be letting a few players off the hook in that respect, in terms of their mentality themselves, in terms of how much they have to commit themselves, and some maybe don't do that, and unsurprisingly may find themselves back in the situation that Shane's talking about.